Hi, everyone. Let me just put a little bit lower the volume and the frequency. Um, okay, there it goes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this show in this special day in this planetary alignment where 7 planets meet in the same axis with a very specific purpose. We can call it as a gateway to what? Well, that's what some of the things that we will be exploring. I have a very special guest with me tonight, which is Christy Campbell, and she will be talking, sharing with us more about herself for the ones that doesn't know about her yet. She's an amazing being. What connects us today and brings us together tonight is precisely the fact that we translate codes, and mostly like codes overall. However, tonight we will be focusing on ET codes and these galactic messages that we get to transmit. So, having said this, before I say more, I'm going to welcome Christy.
Hi.
Hi, Christy.
Thank you for having me on.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
My pleasure, and our pleasure to share this special date together.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely. That's
so
cool
let's
how we
see.
got
Let's
together
see.
today too. Aligning and everything too with all the planets, and
Yes,
I
I
think it's a new
agree. And
moon
you know
as well.
what? To remove. Yeah, I agree. But just let me. Can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I was using the earphones, but that was not a very good idea. You were breaking up. Actually, the
Okay.
whole audio was breaking up. So, anyway, now we're
Yeah.
good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, you were
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah. Because it's a new moon as well. So we're in all kinds of frequencies here.
yes,
So
in Pisces, right?
Pisces. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
double, so it's double Pisces. Yeah, double Pisces.
Hmm.
A lot
It's
of
very
water.
Yeah. Well, me, I'm from the sidereal astrology. I'm a Pisces.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So it's
Yes.
like the sign ahead then, like the regular would be Aries then, right? Is that?
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. And if we even go beyond, like if we go to the galactic astrology, as how they call it, or the unified astrology, which I prefer, I would be Cetus. I am Cetus, the whale.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I have a couple of videos on that, and yeah, it's the sign, the zodiac sign of the whale, and it's this huge proof that the time is non-linear because you have Pisces in the beginning of March, then you have Cetus in the 28th and 29th of March, and then you have again Pisces
Oh, okay. Hmm.
because it's just in the middle of Pisces, in the background. So that's a very interesting sign, and that everything that it represents is precisely that torsion. Not
Yeah.
only through the time, showing that the time is non-linear. It's actually that ingredient that brings all that motion to bring that creates that motion to bring the order in
Mm.
you
Mm.
know so
Yeah.
yes, very powerful sign. It's not because I am from that sign, but it's just
Yeah.
2 days. Can you imagine just two
Mhm.
days
Yeah, because I would be then a Gemini probably. Mine is June 27th in the regular astrology, so it's probably more of a Gemini than, you know, I bet.
Oh,
If,
yeah, and that's
you know,
interesting.
mhm.
We can definitely be talking about that in another show,
Yeah,
how we reflect on each one of the signs,
yeah,
because yeah, like there is a lot of information going in that aspect, and I do believe that related to what we will be showing tonight, because we will also be showing some ET artifacts that I have here with me already,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
because these are other forms of these galactic messages.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how important the constellations are and the planets, and they have them here. They have Orion all over them. They have Saturn, they have other planets. I have here an Ankh that I will be showing that it's just perfect for
Mm-hmm.
tonight,
Yeah.
because it shows 7 planets, as the planetary
Oh, yeah.
tonight.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
that's cool too. I know Sean showed some of them, in his and I've seen y'all's videos too, y'all showing them. So I always watch cuz I when you hold them up then I can connect with them too, and I've actually traveled inside this one that you're with the I seen it as a praying mantis, so um I
Mm.
had I had Sean look and see if I did go in there, and he said I did go into this uh pyramid, and I was journeying through to like um to the school and stuff, to the mystery school, and I met my aspect in that pyramid. So
Hmm.
he
Awesome.
said, well, he said it was a sun being, and then you said that, and in the other one too, you said the light being or something like that, so you kind of both said about the same thing, like a light being or sun being. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Oh,
without
yeah.
without even knowing, huh? Like
Yeah,
this.
right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, because like we really barely talk about,
Yeah.
what
Oh yeah.
other people, actually we
Oh yeah.
don't.
Unless you
No,
watch the video,
no.
yeah, then you're busy doing other things. So definitely, I understand. Hmm.
Uh, yeah, well, so I want to ask you, Christy, how did you begin decoding all these messages, these
Yeah.
cosmic messages?
Well, what happened was I took the Reiki 1 class in 2011, and then, I mean, 2013, and then I just kind of took the whole year. It's like Reiki 1, and then it's like the weekend class. So it went all the way to Karuna Reiki Master within that whole year. And after the teacher gave me the fire serpent symbol in the Reiki Master class, and then that activated my kundalini, like all of these channels, I guess, started opening up, and so I started looking at alien stuff, which I didn't before. And then I started practicing writing the light language. I was interested in seeing how they did that and how they were speaking it. Like there was a girl, Vanessa Lamorte. I was watching her videos and how she was talking in all these different languages and the Syrian and all of them. She was talking really fast. And, I was like, this, oh my gosh, like I really resonated with how she was saying it and everything too, and how she writes her stuff, so I was just practicing with that, and then so it just
Hmm.
kind of grew, and I just and then I think I always ask my guides and everything, because I have a whole bunch of different ET guides, but I was asking them for downloads and infusions of their DNA so I could draw more pictures of them and write more codes to share with the people. So I would ask like the Syrians and Orion or the Mantis, I was asking the Zetas. So, just kind of, I'm not afraid of any of them in that way, to explore all these different races and stuff. I like to, like, I know that I'm a galactic ambassador, that or galactic emissary too, so I could speak these languages to with them, in other realities. So it kind of was very easy for me to um just draw all of them. Like I was like these, the ones I was showing you too. I just draw the being, and it's almost like they come over me or infuse me with what they would look like in their energy. And so I'll just be drawing, and like can sometimes fill up a whole notebook of codes and all of it, and then sometimes like now then it's like hardly anything, so they're not infusing the download, so you can feel it too, the symbols, because it's like energy connected with it too. So
Yeah,
you can
definitely.
look at many symbols and see that these symbols, like I don't feel anything on them, so that person really, I don't know, I just can't feel some people's codes, so, and then
Mm,
some just, they just hit you like, oh wow, that's the activation, that activate, I felt that in my, like a heart activation, so,
yeah.
yeah, so it started with the Karuna Reiki. After that, in 2013, after like in 2015 is when I started drawing these codes,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just I have so many like notebooks full of stuff, Probably like codes to how to get out of here, you know. So they're somewhere. I have the information. It's in my closet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, like what do
Mhm.
you think or feel or know the purpose of them are? For instance, in my case, when I started decoding, I began asking for the key to myself, and then I started drawing geometries, encoded, very specific encoded geometry. And when I took it with someone, a dear friend of mine, who was facilitating Melchizedek, she told me, that's your source code. And I was
Mm,
like, interesting. And after that, it was nonstop, like drawing codes. I even had someone who is like a dear friend of mine, Nassim, a scientist who has these amazing devices. And once he saw one of my codes and he laughed and he said, "This is the device I'm working on. This is
oh,
the."
okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So for
Mhm.
me, they also represent technological
Yes.
devices. You know,
100%. Mhm. Yes.
and when I was living in Egypt, I would also translate, like, alter, and I still do that. Like from the different layers of the pyramids, you can actually undress them, and some of them, and each layer would also be related to one stage of, or a period of time where it existed, and how it was used in a very specific way depending on the race that was there, even though it was created by with one fundamental purpose. It has many layers. Imagine like a rubric cube,
Mhm.
that move
Mhm.
it, and it gives different combinations. And each one of
Yeah.
those combinations actually lead you to different purposes or ways that you can reach into the power of the pyramid. That's
Yes.
also one of the things I love. And portals, stargates, actually some of the codes, and many of them, I'm very careful when to show them, because it can activate so much in people that if they are not aligned, you see how they go, like
Mhm.
spinning elsewhere, because they're the pure transmission coming from the primordial field, from the primordial matrix. So
Mhm.
I'm sorry,
Do you need
I
to check the social
feel,
media to
yes,
see?
yes.
Mhm.
Hold on. I'm sorry. This is alive. I'm sorry. I ordered food and nobody's opening the door,
He's in the shower probably.
calling me, and I'm like, come on, someone.
Is somebody home?
Apparently not.
Mhm.
But anyway, um,
Mhm.
yeah. So I was telling you that some of the codes, actually, I'm very careful with whom I share them with, because even it's like a network, there are
Mhm.
some people that they already know that they are coming together for a specific purpose. And I don't know how about you, but for me, someone who is capable to decode can handle big amounts of energy density.
Mm.
By this, I mean, like, you can handle a lot of darkness and density, and transform it and alchemize it into pure light
Mhm.
language,
Mm.
So, yeah, yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Hmm. I don't know. I haven't heard it like that either. So I know that I think mine is more, is not to transform the density, but to share the information or the frequency of the higher dimensional beings into this reality, like a seed almost, like saying these beings, here's their information, and they're not they're portrayed in a way like this, but they're not really like this. They want to share this message, so what people think would be the grace, like then they're all dark or whatever, then but they're not, so there's going to be that kind of, I don't connect with the dark, um really, any of that, you know
Yeah, well, when I mean the darkness, I don't
Mhm.
mean, as the negative
Oh,
part.
okay. Oh, okay.
Is about, you're talking a lots of information, like for instance this pyramid. It
Mhm.
holds so much information that it requires a lot of energy density, and that
Okay.
density is beheld in precisely a womb, a matrix, because then it's generating that part of life. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that so that I can clear that out. When I talk about huge amounts of darkness, it's about that black hole where life resides, and it's so alive and so vibrant that you're creating life as you show a code. As you show a code, it's a universe in there. And therefore, that's why I say, if you're not in the axis, it can be so much energy. Not that it's bad, it's
Mhm.
so much energy that actually, it can be activating a lot within you, and perhaps a lot of people need to rest. And but that's awesome. Actually, for me, that's high tech. And when I say about alchemizing, is because, when we see the process of life, you are alchemizing that darkness where life begins, like a black,
Mhm.
and then you are giving it that motion, that life, to transform it into the what we would see as pure light, as white light. It's all light, just in a different alchemical processes.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And I love that what you said about, like connecting with beings, and not being afraid, because again, I just see that the ones that, like, people who decode, we all are decoders. We know, like the fact that we are perceiving a reality, we're decoding the colors, we're decoding the frequent the forms, the sounds in many forms. When it comes to these kind of codes and translating them, um, it's because you hold very specific encryptions within you, that you're coming from a unified consciousness. You are being that emissary. You're being the mission, and the mission needs to be neutral.
Mhm. Yes. Mhm. That's right. Yeah. Being neutral so you could just receive it and not judge it. So that's the best. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, yes. And for instance, what do you like the most about the coding and connecting with ETs?
I like, for me, it's more feeling their energy, connecting with the being, and then just being in their energy almost like that. It's almost like, feels like home, so, and then getting to know them as well. Different ones, like even with when the ones you've shown too, it's like easy for me to connect with them because they're like the grays. So I connect well with the grays and the praying mantis and the Syrian, all these beings. And it's more of, I guess it just feels maybe like home or family or something like that. It's and exploring and learning about them too, in that way. And what like what I just learned of asking what they can offer, through y'all's videos of what they want to offer and stuff, like their trade with this or that, so that's something new for me as well to ask them, like um really it's more energy though exchange. And I do give them hugs, like I do that. I offer them compassion, with the Reiki and stuff. That's really what I offer them when they're what I feel they need too is that, like a hug or something in that way.
Hmm.
um and like the grays or something, a lot of them do. Not so much the praying mantis, not all of them, just whoever, whatever they're needing. I don't just invade their space either, So yeah, I
Yeah.
just kind of stay. I do stay neutral as well, and just see what the kind of like a shaman does. They just kind of flow with everything too, and see what is needed in a way, and so. But I take a team with me. My team is so I'm not. I'm really already prepared to talk or communicate with them or receive their codes, so it just flows out. Sometimes I don't even think it just comes out, so yeah, so
Yeah.
much too. I mean, there's so many that I've written, and it does seem to be repeating itself too over a time, like that'll just be kind of the same. I'm like, I'm just writing the same information here. So what are y'all like? What are we doing here? So
Yeah.
yeah. So I like learning new stuff a lot too. Learning new information on the ETs. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. For me, for instance, every time that I see a different type of encoding, we can be showing in a bit, the code so that people can see what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Of course, there are different writings. There are some of them that they are just, like pulses, like
Yes.
frequency, boom, 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 boom. There are others that they are so in motion, like you're running when you're writing them.
Mhm.
It's representing a lot of motion, and I do believe that's a big part of the purpose of these writings, that they want to transfer from the paper or wherever you're, like drawing them. They want to come through in order to activate, as you were saying, just by looking at them,
Mhm.
because they're already moving. That's the
Mhm.
purpose, the mission from which they are, um, or the frequency from which they are being emitted, goes, how I would say, it's going through quantum tunneling. We could say not faster than light, because then that would bring into other implications. Where if it's not, I will just say, like at the speed of light, and they come through quantum tunneling, and they are actually already embedded in this reality. How I see it, like within
Mhm.
this program, they are already here. We're just unveiling them, you
Mhm.
know, being that receptor that sees them and then translate it, and now they can pop out to this reality.
Yeah, because I think that they're
Mm.
within yourself already, so you can just, it's just really easily done. I think everybody kind of has some kind of information, but they just have to, it's whatever you kind of resonate with doing. Some people build stuff and then that's what their codes are, or something like that. So, that's how they receive their information is through maybe writing, too. So everybody can kind of receive it in a different way. But to me, it feels almost like automatic writing, if that's how I would describe it as being almost, because it's like it comes over me, it's like I buy new pens or markers or paint and like new books or whatever, and I'll feel like drawing it more in that way, and like those note cards that I do my readings on, I've filled the whole thing up before just in one setting, so that was like a information download, just coming through. And they were nice ones too. Sometimes I'm just like, this is kind of sloppy. I need a different pen, or, so I kind of redo it, because I'd like it to look nice too and present it nice. I don't want it. So I'm kind of representing that as well, so yeah. But that's what it feels like. It's like a download. Yeah.
And can you perceive the precise message of it? For
Um,
instance, show now
mhm.
a code so that the viewers can, the audience can see them,
Yeah,
and
like
you
this.
can. We were laughing because I'm wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, and then the beings and the things are the like these are the grays, but these are different grays. Or they don't tell me. I don't receive the translation because it feels it's to me it's not English, it's more energetic. And then some people can say what it means, but and I do think that sometimes the code is just they mean different things for different people according to what they're ready to receive as well. So I could say this means go to the store and buy some milk, but then it doesn't really mean that. You know what I mean? It's a ET language. It's a, you
That's
know
word.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that. So it's more than I can um understand, in this reality, because it's gonna give the downloads as well, so you know what I mean? Like that, like this. I think this is an Octurian, or a tall
Can
gray
can
Octurian,
we can you get, I mean, we can arrange, you tell me like how much it's worth, and I would love to for you to give it to me when we go to the Full Disclosure Now conference,
Which
because
ones?
both
Because
will
there's so
be
many. Oh, that orange one?
the
Yeah,
last, yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
we both will be
See?
presenting. Oh, that's so gorgeous. It looks like you.
Yeah, her eyes, huh?
Yeah.
Like an aspect or something, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, then this one here too. See, I'll draw these guys sometimes with. I always draw cats. I'm like a cat person, So they
Mhm.
always. I just have this kind of a thing where they have cats with them on ship. Now they show me this, or I wouldn't draw it. So I guess they like cats too, or they are just
I
showing
love
they
that.
like it because I like it too. So I think sometimes it's like that, And see this one,
Oh, beautiful.
lots of information.
Yeah.
So like that looks like a some kind of a energy device,
Mhm.
wand,
Yeah.
something. And
Yeah.
then maybe like this is I can tell you kind of what they would be, but it doesn't give me all the translation.
What I feel is that there are very specific, like there are different layers for every code, and there is that aspect where each one reflects based on their own universe. And there
Mm,
is one that it's like the base message, the basic one, or the fundamental one, in which we are actually tuning into something, let's say, related to a deeper connection with the creator, or the one, well, with you, of course, and also with the one that emitted the message. Like,
right.
for instance, with this one that you just have shown, for me it's interconnecting very specific parts of some artifacts that are here in Earth, because
Yeah,
it
like
has
it.
very, like, it has the same frequency of some codes that I have seen in ancient alien artifacts, you know,
Yes.
and they actually put them in the area of the skull, on the brain,
Oh yeah.
because they show
Yeah.
also
I
activations
saw
that
that.
are happening at a neuronal.
Now I
Um,
see that what you mean. Like layers of the information. So it's almost uh
yeah,
like it's like they're holographic or something like that. So they just come out too. So there's like all of these layers that just come out or something like that. I see what you are
yes,
saying. Mhm.
yes, yes, exactly. For instance, I'm also going to show
Yes.
some ET artifacts. Let me just
Yeah.
move my, because first I want to show Uh,
Is that Sean?
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
watching in the other room.
I know.
Did he
Uh,
go pick up the food?
no, no, my daughter did. So I think he's still not even aware that the food came. Uh, okay, so these are some of the codes that I translate, and this is quite related to a portal
Yeah, that feels like that.
to
Mhm.
DNA, to genetic, um, let's say, to genetic portals, and to very specific dormant chromosomes that activate and that are related to specific sustainability. Well, to many things. One of them is sustainability within the very same chromosome to actually for you to create for you to regenerate many aspects at a chemical level, you
Yeah.
know. And for
Yeah.
vitamin C
Oh.
and all, like other, yeah, like you creating continuously vitamin C and other, because there are dormant chromosomes that are related to that. Also to regeneration, like to enhance the mother cells and being capable to regenerate at a higher speed. And yeah, and this,
With the drawing there with the pyramid, is that this pyramid here that you're with the other one with the other side of the paper? With is that the pyramid and then underneath it there is so that's that light codes coming out of the pyramid and then underground?
the
Or how
actually
is that?
actually it's supposed to be to go like this, but now
Mm,
that you say it, yeah,
yeah.
it shows as well like
Yeah,
this.
because I draw the same. I do the same thing with those pyramids with the codes coming out of pyramids, you know? Mhm.
Yeah,
So I
yes.
thought that when I saw that one. Yeah.
And there is another one that I want to show
Yeah,
before.
I love looking at them. I love seeing that you write them because they're
Yes,
very similar, you know, in the way you write it too is very similar as in an activation. Oh yeah. Okay. Hmm.
this is
That's
another,
very pretty.
like this is a series of codes related
Mm,
to portals to open, actually, under, like portals to underground cities. And this one is related to Sinai. And then the door to the underground city was shown to me. You know,
yeah.
like I climbed a mountain, and there was this. It is there in a very sacred valley, and they have stories about Moshe going there and so forth. And yeah, there I saw this circular door, like, you know, like it moves of rock,
Mhm.
and then it opens, but it was physical, like physical. And I was shown other, like, these underground bases that are more military like.
Mhm.
um, Perhaps even at some point the military forces already know about those bases, but because there are military forces all over Sinai. But this one, like, leads to another civilization underground.
Mhm.
uh, yeah, that's a very powerful energy, you know, like every
Oh,
time that you see desert, like also here in Mexico, in Sedona, you know, Arizona, or like all those places, New Mexico, yeah, all the places in New Mexico, you know, like you can see a little bit of desert,
yeah.
even though it's not extensive, but it's a very powerful energy and full of underground
Yeah.
cities. And
I have something for you then. Like here. I'll show you this. This is New Mexico. This is the Shiprock. You know the Shiprock, New Mexico? This
Mhm.
is those beings that live in there and travel through interdimensionally through
Mm,
Shiprock. This is the portal there,
wow.
interdimensional. And they come out. These are the Apache, the crown dancers, you know, these guys, you know, the mountain, you know, they come out for this festivals and stuff, you know, but this is going to be more the beings that travel through there too, like ancestors, the star ancestors. And so yeah, this is
That's super powerful.
hmm yeah, I started off with drawing these kinds of codes when I first started doing them. So I connected with the petroglyphs, for the Native American, and the Mayan too. So reading the star ancestors and looking at the
Mhm.
Drenvelo Melchizedek, how he was going to
Yeah.
give like the crystals or so, or the crystal skulls and stuff, like all of that, and the information that you both have with these with the pyramid here, but all of them, that's something that I resonate with too. The
Mm.
same information, the ancient codes,
Yes.
and yeah, so and yeah, I feel like I was gonna show you one. Oh, this one here is more
Sure.
like this one. I wanted to show you this code, the little gray or Octurian. I'm not sure. I'm not always 100% sure. But see how this is like the insectoid? That looks like it's the same insectoid on the pyramid there, but it's more, how his head looks
Yeah.
like this, you know,
Pointed. Like,
the one that you have there, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Mm.
That's why I kind of connected with that one there. I seen it as that, but this he's kind of
Yeah.
playing with this kind of a code or the um I don't know exactly. It's some device, I think,
Yeah, it's a device. It is a
Mhm.
device. Yeah, and they're having a dialogue. Well, actually, a telepathic, let's say, a
Yeah.
frequency
But
communication.
doesn't this look
Yeah, I
like
can
stuff
see.
that you're finding on those scope the structures there, the pyramid and stuff? It kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of that, the same stuff.
yeah. For
Mhm.
instance, here in the pyramid, we see that this being that you are commonly relating it to, and we
Mhm.
see these two figures, which are actually what we would say like mummified, mummified and partially, like
Oh yeah, it's wrapped
with
up.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
partially mummified, partially mummified and fully mummified, and then you have a trinity. However, what has been coming to me is that the mummification process was mostly to point out a huge initiation that they would be trained into, so when the moment came, they would reach their light body. And that is quite related to the mummification. That's why they were even, put into a capsule to generate that specific vortex where they would be leaving the body, as a as a correlation to what happened with the sarcophags, the sarcophagi, uh,
Mhm.
where the people picked up, because you know that when you pick up information, it's from somewhere. So there is that correlation of some of those, let's say, boxes that were in the beginning used to place specific devices that would generate huge amounts of plasma, of Planck plasma, that 0 point field energy to, well, actually, let's say plasma, to actually fully activate, along with the superconductors going underground with the uh, water canals running through all the pyramids, along with all the metals like pyrite and crystals like granite and other like mercury here in Mexico,
Mhm.
to create that 0 point energy. So that's one aspect, but they would also have these boxes to actually regenerate, like med
Mhm.
beds, to say
Yeah.
it's,
Oh, like
and
the
that's
the
what's
the
also,
queen, the red queen, how she was in the box? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Mhm.
yeah, exactly. You would say, okay, if she's dead, why?
Mhm. Mhm.
Why would they put red mercury, like, why, like, trying for her to float after that? They were highly spiritual and they were highly intelligent. They knew about something else So for me, through that process, they were actually achieving to live out the body, and then they died. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they would
Mm-hmm.
already create a huge field of energy that would enable the possibility for them to reach that rainbow body. Because that's an ancient technique. And there are different variations. But what happens with the mummies? Like the way that they shrink their body is somehow similar to some cases of the rainbow body in the Tibetans, in the Tibetan monks. Like they shrink. So there are different scales of that. But for me, it was about precisely that process of creating a rainbow body. This is why he's still alive. Like, even though, let me see. Yeah, no, it's another one here.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
here. Let me see. Let me show, because I was talking, referring to another one. This one, where you can see fully
Oh,
mummified.
yes. Mm-hmm.
you know, and then here you see the other one that is partially mummified. So then that's where you ask yourself, like, he's still alive. When they show dead people, they show them lying, like lying down horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
He's alive. So what is it showing? It's showing a process of actually compressing their body, and to some extent that then they expand, you know? So, and I'm just like really like making it short, as a short story. But like, that if we go at a quantum level, how you reach that rainbow body is by creating so much energy, gamma waves, and then compressing them, that all that energy comes into a sphere, starts to create a charge collapse that hits uh,
I
that
see.
hits a boundary. That
Mm-hmm.
boundary creates so much consciousness through the 0 point energy that then, it's like a feedback of light hitting the boundary of the sphere and then illuminating you. Bam, 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 bam.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same with the body compressed, it's you're creating your own boundaries to expand your consciousness. So,
Oh,
and
I
here we
didn't know
will
that.
see all these. I know. I'm sorry, what?
I didn't know that. Yeah. So that's, I like listening to you with this because I didn't know all this. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, yes, uh, I was tuning into and remembering, and I was saying, like, okay, all those sarcophagi are capsules to
Okay. Yes. Uh-huh.
lead somewhere. They are integrated to the portals underground. They're stargates,
Okay.
so they were routed directly, as well as in Tibet, where they are creating their rainbow body. Most of them are going directly to Shambhala. Most of them.
Mm.
That's how they have been preparing. Then from there, they start expanding into another consciousness. And for instance, here we see a lot of symbols. We have here the eye of what is known Horus, which represents many things. It also like at a biological scale, it represents the central part of the brain where there is a wormhole in between brain hemispheres. And that wormhole, I was talking about that yesterday. Actually, the name is the interthalamic adhesion. So if we now relate this at another scale, it's showing here that here there is a wormhole.
Oh,
There is
okay.
a portal.
Mm-hmm.
And then where is that portal leading to? One, it could be the entrance of the pyramid as you went in, precisely, you know,
Yes.
and then it has a matrix inside the pyramid. And then from that matrix, it can take you to very specific constellations or star
Yeah.
systems, actually.
Yeah.
And
You know what I saw that when I did the okay, go ahead and then I'll tell you after you finish with this what I saw when I went inside.
no, 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 go ahead. Please go ahead.
well,
No, please go ahead.
when I went inside, then I drew a picture of me with a cheetah like being, and so this was like my maybe my aspect, or seemed like my guide or something like that. And then I seen we was like in a, because Sean had said that that's like a star or something like that. So it's like through that they travel through or something. So I was seeing it. Then it kind of transformed in my mind of like a mothership, or something like a like a sphere, or like it looked like a mall, but it was like a giant, like it went on forever. It opened up, and I was like in a check-in, like they had to come through this one check-in station where I was at with this cheetah. And so everybody had to check in with me before they entered, and they stayed there in this biosphere. That's what it is. It was like a biosphere ship, like that was like, it showed me that. And so many beings, so many giant beings came through there, and I was just checking them all in. And so that's what I saw when I was going inside there too. One, I know it could go on different ones, like it just opened up like a giant, it went on down like a long tunnel, and it just kind of was different with the size too, because there was like giant beings and then really little ones, so it accommodated everybody. Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's awesome. And
Hmm.
actually, we were talking about this earlier today, that the artifacts want to connect with as many people as they can, because it's time for full disclosure. And what's happening now in Mexico is that this huge gateway of disclosure is like, it's holding the space for that to happen. There is a lot of people now coming to have like connections, well, contact with ETs, going to specific mountains
Hmm.
and connecting with very specific artifacts. And the only purpose is that if we're talking that the codes that we translate are alive and they give operates, imagine this. You are talking not about transmission that happened right here, right now. Well, if we go to the at a multidimensional level, then yes, it's simultaneously happening. But you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
in this reality, how it has been weaved, this has tons of energy, knowledge, and
Hmm.
wisdom that is not only coming from Earth. Well, neither our codes, but it's just
Yeah.
waiting to reach out to the people that are that agreed to receive from these artifacts, and make them like creating this network in which all win, making more powerful, when you receive those operates, and therefore it generates more sustainability for the art, for instance, this pyramid, where it becomes more powerful enough to reach even to more people. Because, for
Hmm.
instance, if we now see like your experience, or another, that imagine a lot of people having those experiences, that's about restoring our connection to our cosmic consciousness,
Yep.
and
It's
for
easy for me to
instance,
go into them.
yes, yes. And how I see it is like, in order to get the result that you got going where you went to, some of these symbols were activated, plus
Oh.
your source code, which is your geometrical light body. Then it opens and you go through. For someone else, based on their resonance, other codes here will enlighten, and through their source code will also, as a key, will go in.
Hmm.
So depending on, based on your resonance, where you meant to go to with
Yep.
this with pyramid. And for instance, here, like actually you can even open many portals at the same time to connect them to the star system that it has under, carved on in the bottom
In the
part of
bottom.
the pyramid, because
Hmm.
that's actually its purpose, to to activate several portals at the same time and um, activate them uh, to actually open that main stargate
Mhm.
to that
Yeah.
system, you
Yeah,
know.
because like the other side
And
with the praying mantis part, that I was showing you, like that. I think I accessed that one because I connect with this one. Maybe that's the same kind of being that I would think of. To me, that's what I saw first was that. And then he holds. I saw that he had. I asked him, "What are those rings on the top? Why do you have those rings for?" Um, so I was asking the being all kinds of questions, but not like pushy or nothing. I just kind of sat with them in a way too, and just like hi in a neutral way, just let them kind of until we start go sync energy almost like that. So but then he picked the rings off of the top, and then he was like showing me like it was a slinky. He was kind of playing around, kind of being funny like this, and then he had them on his hands, and then like they was in like they lit up on his hands, and then he went like writing like a symbol all out, and then he was like, and then he opened the door, and then so I went inside after that, so it was some kind of a code that he gave me there. Yeah, but he didn't really say, and he didn't speak verbally. It was just the energy almost, because I don't
yeah.
recall he said anything to me like that. So I just went inside and the door closed, and it was like dark at first. And so I just kind of waited until someone came up to me, what I needed to do next. So I just kind of, it's like a shamanic journey to me, and so you just kind of wait and wait till the next thing comes to mind, you just kind of do that a little bit at a time. And I'm really respectful of what's around because it's not my house, so like that too. And so Sean had said that I was
Yeah, that's
greeted by
something very
myself,
important.
you know, that myself greeted me. Or Ivan said that. I
Yeah.
asked Ivan too, and Ivan said myself greeted me there, so and then I was going to like the mystery school, and Sean said I went 5 layers down into the pyramid. So it was different things you can go do in that. Yeah.
Yes. 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 As I was saying, like a Kubrick cube, I
Hmm.
mean,
A Rubik's
Kubrick
cube.
cube,
Oh,
Kubrick
okay.
cube. Bring the director. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Rubik cube, is
Yeah.
like depending on the tones that you're activating within the artifact. In this case, the pyramid, you are reaching to different levels of the structure of the cubic structure of the pyramid, because actually when it's completed, like fully activated, it turns into an octahedron. And yeah, I agree that you were greeted by the one version of yourself. I actually do know, from my experience, that all of this, what we are doing, are emissions of versions of ourselves in
Hmm.
different realities.
Yes.
Mostly when it is constant, and if you're constantly being contacted by mantis, is because you have mantis
Hmm.
codes. I
Hmm.
also have contact with mantis, and they are quite embedded in these artifacts, not only different types of grays or Syrians, because, for instance, there is, well, just before going there, because I'm going to show another one. um, this pyramid, many, like not many, but at least other 20 pyramids like this one exist. Some of them have just one ring, some of them have two rings. And at some point, they need to be activated together, because together they connect with the Orion's Nebula.
Mm.
Like all those star systems that each one of them route to, and then together interconnecting to Orion's nebula, and they will be restoring big part of the pyramidal network like this,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
because they are
Mhm.
actually connected also other pyramids that exist at the outer space. You know,
Yeah.
like for instance, this one is connecting to the pyramid that there is that it's in that star system, and so forth. And uh, yeah, for me, the rings, what they are showing a huge mastery of the space-time fabric by creating rings of time to transform timelines,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
to deactivate and activate timelines, because that's what rings of time create.
Mhm. Mhm.
They
Yeah.
are, they come as the genetic code that which directs the 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 cell, you know, like the
Mhm.
cells that construct all the spatial temporal constants. The rings of time are the ones that actually direct
Yeah.
those
Those
cells
things,
that
like
construct.
what I'm seeing now with the rings, like they was spinning like the like a toroidal field, like that kind of a thing, and then the whole thing encapsulated it,
Yes,
like that,
yes.
and then they kind of became like that sphere, like a toroidal field, kind of like that. And so when it expands, it's like it can find its other. You said there's another ring that it needs to find, just one more ring to, or how many more rings does it have to find?
No, here there are two rings. Like here we already have the two rings.
The
The
two.
thing is that there are other pyramids like this
Mhm.
one. Yeah, there are two rings here. The thing is
Yes.
that when this pyramid, like there are other pyramids, there is another one that I already know of, physically speaking, and it was just one ring. And there are
Okay.
other ones that have also two rings, another one ring. So there are in total 13 rings.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and when I say 20 pyramids, then you will say, but how? You know? And the thing is that it all comes with algorithms. Perhaps other pyramids actually comes together with the rings, and there are others that actually comes together with the rings. I'm sorry, there is so much energy that the
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
that I'm like
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
It only pauses just for a second though, not much, so that's okay.
Okay, okay, awesome.
Do you
Well,
have a camel as your animal totem? A camel?
I love camels. I
Mhm.
have never tuned into a camel as my totem. I have tuned
I
into
just
the
saw that.
panther. Okay, nice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Ooh, that's a huge clue because it leads me to Camelopardalis, the constellation, which is actually the center and the beginning that is marked in the Denderas calendar of this era. You know,
Mm.
you have the one that is known nowadays Camelopardalis, but in the Dendera calendar zodiac, it's shown as three animals: the goat, the baboon, and the hawk. You know, and then they are marking to Anubis, and they mark all the way to Cetus and Pisces, but I won't go like why I said is this era because it's something that I decoded
Yeah.
from there.
It's meaning to
But
you. Yeah.
anyway,
Mhm. Yeah.
thank you for saying
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yes,
You should find like a
yeah,
camel
sure,
necklace or something. I saw as a
huh?
necklace. I saw it as a necklace or something with you like that. So like a totem, Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm.
Or maybe
Okay,
you
thank
can
you.
draw it.
Yeah, I have
Maybe
a
you can
little one,
draw
a
it.
white one actually, not a pendant, but
Mhm.
thank you. Yes, interesting. Okay, yeah. That's a very powerful constellation, actually, Camelopardalis, the
Oh,
camel. So
okay.
thank you.
Cool.
Um, okay. Yes, it is. It is. It is a huge code, actually. It is like, yeah, like why would the Greek name Camelopardalis if there are no camels? I mean, yes, they went to Egypt, perhaps they got that inspiration from there, but it's related to something else,
Hmm.
And even the name Camelopardalis it derives from the giraffe.
Oh,
So
okay. Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I'm connecting
The
it to
giraffe.
the star system. Thank you.
Yeah, the
Uh,
giraffe. I connect with that quite a bit. The giraffes.
okay,
You
so
know.
I'm going to show a new. Hmm, I think they're very special, and people talks about them very like almost not at all.
I
Like
know.
we know a lot about lions and hawks, whales, which are lovely, and nobody talks about giraffes.
Yeah, I think because they're gentle, like so they don't push their weight around like the lions do or the hyenas, so that's maybe why. Hmm. Oh, cool. The
Hmm,
Ankh.
yeah, yeah,
Did you find that too?
yeah, and you can see. Yes,
Oh, now I see
no,
the ET.
actually, we didn't find it. It found us.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you see that here there is a being, actually, like the Christ, with the wings expanded,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and this is a
And
Syrian, actually.
do you think it looks like this too? Because it kind of does sideways, like this,
This,
like one of these ETs,
uh,
maybe a elongated skull ET. That's what I'm seeing in it,
yeah,
like it's the
perhaps
elongated skull.
I see its frequency. Yeah, for me, how I perceive, well, how I have communicated with him, he's
He likes you a
Syrian,
lot.
and actually, I
He,
even cried.
yeah, I
When
can tell he likes you a lot. I can
yes,
see, like his face,
yeah,
his hand. It looks like it's touching your chin, like that, like it's touching your chin. Like that's what I see with
yeah,
the beam.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah, we
I
feel
can
love,
feel that
a lot
now.
of love.
Yeah, makes my eyes
When
watery just now.
I,
Yeah, I feel that.
yes, I was crying when he found us, and also with the cube, a huge crystal cube that found us as well. It is like that's one of the reasons why I came here, why I came here to Mexico, after being in Egypt, because I was said, it was told to me that I would be finding cubes, because
Okay.
actually they restore a specific part of the primordial matrix. And yeah, so we are already on that at a great world level.
To me, this being that it looks like it's holding his arms out, like um the it
Yeah.
looked like it was holding his arms out and conducting an orchestra, like that, that's what it looked like.
Hmm. Well, it's definitely musical.
Hmm. Oh
Like here
yes.
it has the planets,
And then a spaceship.
7 planets, and it
Hmm.
has here the DNA. Yeah, spaceship, DNA
Yes.
cord.
My goodness, I draw all
So
this already.
for me, this is
Yeah, been drawing this for a long
well,
time.
how I get
See
into
kind
it.
of how this would be, kind of how that would look as their code coming down, like
Oh,
the
yeah,
cedars, like because these guys look like that, like what they look like that,
yes,
and then it's coming down from the
yes.
ship. Hmm. Yeah, so that's why I
I love
resonate so
that.
much with it. Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, the sides of it, it's like the
Yeah. And
ET,
for
the
instance,
UFO coming down.
yeah, and for me, this is talking about a huge upgrade in relation to all these planets,
Okay. Like today.
a huge upgrade at the genetic level. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
at the genetic level. It's like when you align your planets, like even for the people who's watching this show, if you want to do the ankh motion, you can just visualize your body as the being that you saw in the other side, and visualize how the consciousness of each one of the planets is spinning in full harmony
Hmm.
in your brain. Well, actually, not even in your brain. It is around as a crown in your brain. Even the planetary alignment has this shape, you know it's going as a rainbow. Actually,
Hmm.
they call it, it's related to the rainbow rainbow expression. And yeah, here the spaceship, what represents beyond the evident, it's also showing how all these codes from this planet are being emitted through this
Yeah.
spaceship that is held by these winged beings that come from, that are actually, let's say, like the pilots of this. And the founders, we can also call them, at least not founders in the beginning of planet Earth, yet founders of human civilization.
Hmm.
And the
Is there
DNA
beings on the side
upgrade,
too?
yeah,
It's the same beings, like the elongated. I think so.
yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Here, yes, they are. You will see a lot of elongated skull beings. You
Hmm.
will see Anubis kind of beings. You will see falcons.
Hmm.
You will see the eye, like a
Tortoise.
body with an eye as a head.
Oh, okay.
And yes, you will see androgynous beings. You won't say, okay, this is male, this is female, like us. They are very, yes, like androgynous. And
The
as we
gray.
know,
Yeah.
how most,
Some.
and yeah, so anyone who's watching this show, if you want to, like to receive from the bliss of this planetary alignment, you can create the ankh with your body, visualizing these are your arms, this is your trunk and your body, and this is your head, and this would be actually your crown. Well, all these planets are perfectly aligned. You have five here, and then you have six and seven. you know
Okay.
and there is also another way, which would be like the ankh, like this. So you would be
The key.
bringing the
Hmm.
energy as the DNA, which represents also your Kundalini force. So you would be bringing it from below, from the Earth's core, all the way up, back of your head, in front of your head, all the way to your heart vortex. Then you pull out the energy, connecting with your future self or source self, bringing in the codes, and then expanding this all the way through the heart.
Mm.
And this is because time is going, like, not moving in front of us. It's actually coming from behind. That's
Mhm.
why it's we don't have eyes in our back of our head, because that's what we cannot see, which is the future. We know the past, even though there are hidden things, but the future we cannot see. So that's, like that level of, I don't know what's going to happen, but so. And yeah, there are other, like many other ways to correlate, but that will lead to another topic of how we create time and our experience.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
this to me, this when you're holding it up, it is transmitting like a from your heart. It's like pulsating out, like it is a heart activation for you when you connect with that. It's like a and now I even see because it's the brown in the circle from the wall, but it also looks like a being as well with the robe one, with the high robe thing. So it kind of can transform a little bit too, you know. But yeah, it's like you're holding its
Yes.
arms
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Kitty. Your kitty wanted to say hi to
Yes.
me, to everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. To say
Yeah.
hi. Yeah.
So see how this is? It looks like that, with the elongated skull, These are the same. If they turned that way, it would be that. And it's in the desert area, like that.
Mm. Ah,
I just
lovely. Lovely.
yeah, and see how this is? It's more of those see how many codes, but
Mm.
the pyramids and all that.
That
See?
reminds me. That reminds me of an underground city that I saw in the desert, actually, in some
Yeah.
technology that they had there. These were lizard beings, actually. They were more like
Mhm.
lizard beings,
Yeah.
and
I've drawn them
they
before.
were
Those lizards.
they,
Hmm? What is?
and more related to military aspects, not
Oh,
engaging with anyone, just doing their own thing, preparing their what they are doing, because it's actually nourishing to all the network that they have to their race underground, and also other races which with they have alliances with. Some of them are other reptilians, some of them are other, what we would call shining ones.
yeah, that's what
This
you said I was, a shining one.
plasma being.
Mhm.
Yes, and they also live underground. They don't only come from outer space, because actually how they access to Earth is through the black hole and the wormholes that are in the center of the Earth.
Mhm.
And they
Hmm.
have most of them went there after the last cataclysm. They stopped coming from their planets and their star systems, and they just went underground, and they feed from the plasma that is at
Oh,
an underground level in before the Earth's surface.
the Earth's surface. Okay.
That's how they sustain themselves.
See this then?
Yes.
This is the desert with those
Mm.
the same kind of beings right
Yeah.
there. The elongated skull and see their ship is
Mm.
that looks like one of the statues,
Yes.
And these are just like
Yes.
portals in the desert. What does that
Yeah. I
say?
see.
I don't know what it says
I
there.
see. Hmm.
Oh, look, what? Up?
Look.
Yeah. Hey, that's what they're telling you.
Look up. Up.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Mm.
So sometimes they
Okay.
say stuff like
It
that.
reminds me It reminds me as well of a part in by nearby Mexico's border in Sonora. The area is known as the silent zone,
Oh, okay.
because
Mhm.
the anomaly there is so high that there is, like, the grid fails. There is no cell phones, there is no no, of course, not Wi-Fi, not anything like that. Deadline, and there are a lot of ETs coming to that space due to the electrical current. There are a lot of
Mhm.
portals there. You know,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
desert of
Look,
Sonora is very beautiful
the zone,
in
zone,
Chihuahua.
silent zone. Yeah. See this? That kind of looks like that right there. The this on your ankh. It looks kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I can tell you're really protective of the statue there, you know? Like it's your like it's yours, you know, like don't touch it or something like that. It's like your mother or father or some kind of parental connection or family or something like that, it feels. Does
yeah.
that
You
feel
know,
like
the
that
thing
to
is that I
you?
remember myself holding. Yeah, I remember myself holding the Ankh key for a lot of my embodiments. You know, not only throughout Egypt. I mean, Kemet, ancient Kemet, but like way before civilizations were called Egyptians and so forth, you know, or ancient Egyptians. Um, and yeah, so when we were encountered, it was this huge feeling of finally, you know,
Okay. Mhm.
you've come back to me, you know. So yeah,
Is your
and
kitty
you know,
hungry?
this actually this no, no, he just loves to
It's
communicate,
like
you know.
I think he likes
Yeah,
the
no, he
chime.
like he has food. Yeah, yeah. Actually, he does not show a lot in camera, just in some of my sessions.
Mhm.
But
Um, me with the
he feels
cats.
the energy. He's well, all the cats very perceptive, and the way that he channels the energy, he gets really crazy.
Okay.
Like it really, yeah, like now, you know, and
Mhm,
starts
mhm,
throwing things to the floor, and yeah, that's the way that he
mhm.
channels the energy. Perhaps he needs.
Yes, the high energy. Yes. Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, yes, and yes. So here it has also other codes. I don't know if you
Oh,
see
okay.
them
Mm-mm, I didn't see that.
because I have
I know that it's very heavy.
because I
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I see that. Those
But
that
actually, here it's
triangle.
saying yeah. Actually, here it's saying the name because this being was
Mm,
let's say one of the high what we would consider now as priests, which of
mhm.
course for them there's no word like that. He was just like a really um, highly evolved
Yeah.
being
Master, like a
that
master.
they
Mhm.
would name him. Yes, yes. So that's actually, let's say, the way that they named him and related him. You know, this is not. Well, of course, he is showing how to expand and how to align. You know, through the planets, and you see that Saturn is just above because one of the things that I am now continuously sharing is that the the way and the frequency that the planets used to emit before the last cataclysm was nothing like nowadays. Let's say that after the last cataclysm, the now the cat wants to come with me. Ninja. Yeah. It's like after the last cataclysm, were like I have everything here. Yes. After the last cataclysm, there was this also. before there was this pure connection with the primordial matrix, and the last cataclysm, then they took advantage of the features of the primordial matrix and creating the artificial matrix, and then they routed all the harvesting control systems to these planets. But now that's collapsing as well,
Mm.
because all these artifacts connected with a lot of planets, stars, and mainly and repeatedly to Saturn. Why? Because they are showing the primordial connection with Saturn as this huge epicenter of manifestation and concretion. So for me, it's very important to continue to restore the primordial nature of Saturn, because even what happened with some of the genes, what we know, they are um, they are descendants of these plasmic beings, and they were guardians throughout the primordial matrix. They were light guardians. And what happened when they routed Saturn in a negative way to the artificial matrix? They got trapped.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So
Hmm.
that's why they started to become in another way, and then other people exploiting them. But if we restore that, we can actually, if we continue to restore that, what we will tune into the power of the frequency of the planets, because they are also expressed in our holographic body.
Yeah. So how do we do that?
Well, that's some of the things that I will be sharing for anyone who's interested in grid work, like missions.
Mm.
Because now, after today, like a huge gateway has opened, and then we have March, which will be a very powerful month energetically speaking. We have two eclipses, and with the Saturn's rings disappearing from our perception. And by this
Oh.
means that we will be capable to imagine that the rings were encoded, all the recessive programs and harvesting control systems, and then sustained by other technology that comes and is projected from the hexagon in Saturn. And
Mm.
well, and then when the rings disappear, there is a huge portal that is open for us to restore the dormant genes and actually rewrite genetically and within the space-time fabric what we choose to encode in the rings for when they reappear.
Mm.
So yes, I will be organizing something to do a super powerful connection. And
Mm.
yeah, we will
Um,
see how that is delivered, but definitely is like once in a lifetime opportunity, at least for
I'm
now,
trying to.
because it's that huge wave portal to where the information, the recessive information fades away, and we have that gap, that time frame to restore whatever we want to restore. So
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, like I was seeing with the eclipses, they look like mirrors looking at each other too, so it's like a portal in that way as well. Is that what you were talking about? Like a portal going in, and then we kind of sit in this void or whatever, like maybe imagining that, maybe doing that, and then reprogramming, or however. It's like, um
hmm.
I'm just thinking of reprogramming all of our codes and stuff, or something like that, you know? Like putting ourselves in a cocoon or something. I don't know, something with like that egg or something, and maybe maybe infusing or asking your guides to help with that, like help infuse me or help give me the, like something with that. Something's like, I feel like a lot of people need help from their guides and stuff. Like asking your spirit team or your spirit guides or your star family, or whichever beings you connect with, to maybe help or give you infusions or something like that to help upgrade your system, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And if we see that our guides are, let's say, an extension of ourselves and us an extension of our guides, um, then we it's easier because you are not trying to reach out to someone
Yes.
who will never answer the phone. You're
Right.
actually routing from the space-time fabric in which timeline or spatiotemporal constant you are already inhabiting as that guide, and start tuning into that guide. And also, if there is a guide that you don't feel like a lot of resonance with, you can actually deactivate the strength and the connection that you have with him, her, it, and then
Oh. Mhm.
strengthen the connection that you have with another guide. And
Yeah.
and that happens when you actually find the purpose of that guide being with you, and then recode it within your DNA as something that you have already integrated. So then, you have no longer a purpose of being
Yeah,
with that
you can
guide.
state it too. You could say any beings that I no longer need or resonate with, then I'm ready for upgrades and ready for new learning and new codes into this body, I'm ready. So please give me whatever, like you can just I just say, like, I say that kind of stuff all the time. Like, give I want infusions, DNA infusions from my higher self, or my spirit team, or the Syrians, or the Orions, or the felines, or whatever. I'll just say whatever is needed at this time, you know? So that's what I do all
Yeah,
the time.
that's a beautiful, yeah,
Mhm.
that's a beautiful way, like
Mhm.
a very beautiful way to handle that. And thank you for
Mhm.
bringing that up, because that's very important. How many people don't how many people get to feel alone, you
Yeah.
know throughout this path.
Mhm. They feel alone. How I
And
see it is like I'm like,
fortunately,
hmm? What is it? Okay.
no,
How
you're,
I
go ahead, no, go ahead.
How I see it is like they're all sitting like at a table, kind of like there's like a table, and then they're all back there, all the aspects of myself that I am, to all these different beings. And then I'm just kind of standing in front of all of them, and I'm just kind of asking for more information or more codes or upgrades or whatever is needed in this body for now. I'm ready for all of this to I'm ready to expand. I'm ready, whatever your intention is. That's what that's what you should do, whatever you feel is best for you at the time, but whatever beings you resonate with too. So I like the Lyrans a lot. I like the cats, so um and the and also, well, I do, because I have like my star family is like a Lyran father, and then mother is like a Pleiadian. So they always sit like this behind me as well, So yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm. That's beautiful.
Mhm.
uh, you made me you reminded me of when we were talking about the dragon language, and that how, for instance, Jeshua or Yeshua, he was known as the dragon and also the lion.
Oh,
Like
okay.
being two forces that are tangled to one another. Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. As actually also the dragons and the whales, being the predecessors to one another.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, I'm just going to address to one question. Yeah, please, anyone, if you have any questions for me or for Christy, just feel free. You know, uh,
Mhm.
we're more than happy to share with
See,
you. Also, if
maybe
you want to
something
comment
like this
anything, thank
too.
you everyone for all your comments. Thank you.
See, I did this in
Oh,
2017, and this is the codes too,
hmm,
like the and portals, and then the DNA. This is like the
yeah,
DNA.
hmm. Yeah, and those tubes, they are like part of a machinery,
Mhm. Mhm.
empowering those
Yeah.
strands,
Yeah, because it's to the 12 strand.
like vessels of energy vessels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then these two,
Hmm.
the
Okay.
beings,
Hmm.
the teaching.
Hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that triangle, you can see that as actually um yeah, that's a very important one, and that's also carved in a lot of
Oh yeah. Mhm.
but
The
it's
statues.
even quite related to a fundamental well, how I relate it, it's connected to a fundamental pattern that when we generate and activate the tetrahedral helix in our DNA, it's which is mainly, imagine us having octahedral genes, and those octahedral genes are intertwined to one another, creating the tetrahedral helix DNA.
Mm.
And
Wow.
that symbol is precisely when you look from above,
Mm.
so,
You mean to
and
show it
it's a
again? So
huge
you see?
force actually to 0 point energy. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I will share it with you. And the other one that you have, it's is similar to one that I use and that I draw as well.
You see the babies,
Uh,
the little baby.
oh
They had the
yes.
baby. That's a little hybrid baby that they have.
Hmm.
Mhm. So I'm part of the hybridization program as well. You know, with the
Yes.
ETs, the
Yes.
hybridization. So I have
Yes.
like this here's me going onto one of the ships here, and all the babies in like containers on the wall there, and then holding the baby. This is like going in astral and visiting this different places, ships, realms, however, and then holding the baby and just giving it compassion and love, because they just have to stay in these maybe containers or something. This is like part of the genetic program, like the hybridization program, with the human and ET DNA.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is a lot of that going on,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, a lot of that going on, and not only to women. I have
Yes,
known
amen. Yes.
like people that also, even the mantis come to them, some, because there are
Mm-hmm.
all kind of telepathic
Yeah.
actually offer to 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 have
To
a
give the
baby,
DNA.
like the
Yeah.
mantis
Right.
will breed.
Right. You can
Yes.
ask them too. You can ask them if you wanted to exchange, like say I want a hybrid child with your race, and then will you give me a DNA infusion of your race, of your species, and you can ask them what the upgrade would
Mm,
be as well. So because I think it's like an infusion, and they would do that when you're sleeping. It's kind of holographic or something. It's like an infusion in your DNA, and then you can ask for them all the time if you want to, you know? And then so you'll be able to start writing codes or drawing ETs or just connecting with these beings more, you know? Mhm.
Yes. Yes, like saying that the first well, not the first, but another suggestion or advice would be for people not to be afraid again with what they might find in their memories, you know,
Yeah.
because actually then they can think about it and find a purpose. And I'm not talking only about memories in this earthly reality. I'm talking about those moments when you feel gaps in your memory that you go out and then you come back and you feel like a lot of time went by. And this is just one way that you can actually detect that something could have happened, you know,
Mhm.
when you have those gaps within your memory, and the sensation that a lot of time has happened in just 1 second, because it's
Yeah.
mostly related to the time dilation. You can also revise on your memories as a child, you know, and then you can probably, if you have many things like this activated, it's not only because you're a star seed, it can and also be because you went through a lot of upgrades. Your physical body went through a lot of upgrades. And
Mhm.
yeah, like we could go through that, you know, like even um, kids that show traumas, you know, out of the blue. Where is that coming from? Okay,
Mhm.
well, you know, there are things there, but anyway, you know,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I do believe that a way to that the suggestions that you are doing, which are very worthy, thank you for bringing them up, because the more that we connect with what we want to with what we want to bring into this reality and how we want to shape it, the more that will actually continue to shift timelines. Some
Yeah, that's right.
are
Very true.
in, and other ones are actually, and well, those ones in decay are actually enabling for the ones
Right.
that we are now creating. Imagine from the multidimension, like from the infinite field of probabilities, you could have had experienced anything,
Mhm.
anything. So
Yep.
what do you want to tune into and strengthen as a reality, you
Right.
know? So yeah.
Right, you have to see, you have to write it out or see it too, you know, like in a way it has to kind of, you can see these things too, but like if you write it down or you see a picture of it and imagine it and then connect with it too, and like go into the image of it and then just kind of just sit with it a few days and connect with the being or whatever you're wanting to do, you know, just connect with the image of something, of the whatever it is, the place or however, and then just kind of sit with it and ask it questions or go in, you know, like it's like the just these pictures and stuff, like here, you know, like going into the picture and then you're like, where is this at, what are they doing, you know, and then so like, can I come up on the ship as well, can I go up on the ship, and then what's on the ship, what will we be doing on the ship? You know, you just kind of have to ask these things so you kind of know too, and it just kind of helps you a lot too, with connecting with the ship, because the ship can is probably your ship that's will be above your house anyways, you know, and the beings around too is probably your spirit team or your star family or however, you know, most likely. And you can always ask to connect with your star family or spirit team, and then ask them to take you on the ship, and you might not remember being on the ship or anything like that, but you know, you just kind of have build a communication with the different beings. And if you don't know who your spirit team is,
Yeah.
then start asking questions to different channelers and seeing if they can help you find who to connect with, who's your spirit team, you know, something like that, and then start learning that way. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Once we open our channels of communication, things start to happen. And if they
Yeah.
don't happen right away, it's because perhaps there is something that you need to check on, in your field.
Yeah.
And
Right.
yeah, so the first is really believing that you're capable of doing that. It's
Yeah.
We are all capable of doing this,
Mhm.
don't feel that it's only to specifically gifted people. We are all gifted, and
Mhm.
we are all entitled to have that level of connections. The first thing for me, what I would because then perhaps you might be connecting with energies, but if you don't have your heart opened, then actually instead of generating you a benefit, you can actually be uh, let's say creating distortion out of it.
Okay.
And the thing is that the level of consciousness that those beings come, and I'm not saying that they are fully illuminated, but yeah, they are illuminated
Right. That match your
in the
frequency.
way that the universe see. Yeah, facing something, there are it's showing to you things, aspects of yourself, and you
Mhm.
embrace them from a space of love. You're capable to alchemize them, and by love, again, I don't mean it in this romantic way that they have shown to us.
Right.
It is zero point energy, and actually even that energy at some point, after alchemizing it, can serve you to materialize what you want to materialize. Yeah,
Mhm.
so well, I want to address to this question,
What
and
was your life experience
it
like
says,
in
Isha, what
Egypt?
was your life experience you were speaking about?
Where did you
Well, I
come
have had
from at
many,
that time?
so that would be like where
Pre-ancient
did you come
Egypt?
from? Oh, well, I again, that's story. Yes, I could relate myself to many star
Mhm.
systems, mostly related in Egypt. It would be Orion and Sirius. So let's say like a gateway in between them both. And
Mhm.
where when the Orion's nebula grid was still fully taken care of by the galactic community, enhancing the connection in between many galaxies and generating sustainability within a high level of consciousness in Earth, with that very same star grid network, or the star network. Yeah. So thank you for asking,
And some
Tanya.
more
And
more
well, as I
received
was
from
saying,
the
thank
mountains.
you, everyone. Yes. Yes, I see. Mm,
Yes, the portals there in the mountain. Maybe that's the zone of silence.
mm,
Who- Anywhere in the
yeah.
mountains, really. Okay. We could go on
Hmm.
all night comparing our codes, showing our codes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff, you know? Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. We can definitely do a part two. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah.
are there any words that you want to give to say to the audience before
Yeah,
wrapping up
what's
with
good.
this?
Yeah, I
Uh,
would suggest, like, if people are wanting to learn more about who their star family is, to connect with channelers or people who kind of can help you with readings and stuff, and ask them those questions and start connecting in that way. That kind of gives you a jump start as well, because some people don't know who their star family is, or where to even connect to, but maybe they feel drawn to lions or tigers or something like that. So maybe that is something, but you don't really know much about this. So maybe you might get a book on all the star systems, even watching videos on YouTube of all the Lyran, Syrian, the Andromeda, and they have a whole bunch of lists of all these different galactic races, and you could just watch all of them and see which ones you resonate with, and like, oh, well, I sound like this one too. Well, I sound like this one too. So maybe I'm all of these, but then so start exploring all of that. Just do a little bit at a time of exploring each one of them and learning about which beings are
Mm,
in that star system too, and that will help you expand as well, learning more about these ET races, and if it's the Zetas and you want to learn more about where they come from and what they do, then look at the Zetas or reptilians or whatever you want to look at, whatever you resonate most with, but also look at things too that you might not always connect with or have a question about. You might ask a channeler about why you feel this way about this being, and find out, more information and see if that resonates or not, too. Yeah. So
mm,
that's what I
I
recommend.
agree. Mm, thank you. Thank you,
Hmm.
Christy. Well,
Yeah.
I recommend that if you want to activate the code that I shared earlier, um, you can, watch this transmission. I will also be writing the frequencies of these sounds. Um, and there are many ways actually to even translate later these sounds into just vowels, because for me, big part of how the power of communication is because they unite. So, here it goes. It's ash, zi, vich, shau, ich, et, chi, HUNUH. So those are the 7 plus 1 frequencies of the code that I shared, each one representing the pure and pristine consciousness of each one of these planets. And HUNUH, I didn't know when I came up with that word, is Hun is one in Mayan,
Mm.
and
Oh, okay.
is the primordial consciousness of the feminine, the creation. So,
Mm.
yeah, not the
Wow.
feminine, of
Cool.
the creation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I found out, I was like, oh, okay, well, interesting. I was
Mm-hmm.
in Egypt and already speaking Mayan. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Mm.
Uh, yeah, well, there is another question in March. In March, I won't be giving any course at the moment. I will be giving it in April. In April, we will begin with plasma body activation, luminous DNA activation, source code
Mm-hmm.
translation, and uh, yeah, the DNA activation is also space-time travel. Is navigating through the space-time travel while activating your DNA through the space-time fabric. Sorry, while navigating within your DNA and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Activating your DNA while navigating through the space-time fabric. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you will activate your luminous DNA, because the space-time fabric is our DNA strands, on the
Mm.
other way around. So one leads to another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will be talking about this actually in Sedona in Rise of the Guardians conference. So
Oh,
also,
okay.
if you're watching, you haven't gotten your tickets, get them. I can give you my coupon code so that you can have a nice discount. And we will have also, after the 2 days of a conference with amazing people, we will also have workshops, and which is a full other 2 days of workshops where we
Oh,
will be
wow.
capable to talk, to connect, and to strengthen this network. And if you're not able to come to join us, everything will be transmitted after. You will find all the videos in the platform of Team Light. And also the workshops, our workshops will be transmitted worldwide. So yeah,
Mm.
that's going to be also a very cool conference.
Conference.
Awesome and
Mm-hmm.
outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And Christy and I will be also in full disclosure conference in Florida in
Yes.
July.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you also want to connect with us to see what we are preparing for July in Florida,
Yes.
check out the links for full disclosure now conference.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
having said this, yeah, I will write the sounds in the post with the code. Thank you, Christy, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
The mm, it was like truly a pleasure,
Yes.
and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so much
It was
resonance.
fun.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank
fun. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, definitely a lot of fun. Let's do that
Mm-hmm.
again.
Okay.
And to all of you, thank you for watching us. I just want to say that we are walking information. We are inhabiting a human holographic vessel that is connected to a third density full of information, channels our senses to breathe in, then we will find ourselves within the information and won't get lost in it, because the core of the truth resides within us, in that epicenter that only the brave ones, the warriors, can face, can embrace, because the temperance, the strength of a warrior is measured by the temperance of its heart. So having said this, thank you everyone for watching this show. Christy, let's do this again.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, happy planetary alignment.
Yeah. Yes. And
And
happy new moon. The new moon in Pisces. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, happy new moon in Pisces,
Mm-hmm.
double new
Mm-hmm.
moon. As
Yes. Yes, it is.
okay, love
Okay.
to you all.
Bye-bye.
See you on time.